America, in a time of great peril, in an age of uncertainty, in an era when the nuclear codes were entrusted to a man who once told the world that magnets stop working when they get wet, I'd like you to ask yourself one simple question. Why the hell not me? We've survived 2 impeachments, 34 felony convictions, an attempted coup, and a grown man who believes water defeats magnetism. This is how far the bar has fallen. Look, folks, I only have one misdemeanor from 1986. I didn't bankrupt 6 corporations, these bankruptcies being related to hotel and casino businesses, where I would add, noting that the fundamental business model behind casinos is that people actually hand their money over to you. I didn't try to overthrow the government. And I sure as hell never bragged about grabbing anyone by the. And I'll be honest with you, I don't remember everything from civics class. A lot of it fell out of my head while I was busy working for a living. And yes, I partied like a rock star for about 20 years, which may have taken a bit of a toll. So if I ever have an off day, if I'm tired and my brain feels like mashed potatoes, I might not be able to pinpoint someplace on a map right away or whatever, but I do know how to find out all of the important stuff I need to find out. I'll know how to do all of the critically important things. I know how to find the right people, listen to them, and get the facts, and I promise you this, I will work harder for America than that guy ever did. And I hope to serve side by side with the likes of Gavin Newsom, stomping his way through the MAGA world like Godzilla, or perhaps some massive anaconda swaying like a wrecking ball at the end of a chain on a demolition site, making whipping sounds as it cuts through the air, its sheer mass and weight propelling its way through space until gravity halts it, forcing it in the opposite direction. The loudmouth liars of the administration now being crushed under its mighty length and girth, down on their hands and knees begging, "Oh, please no, Gavin, stop!" I feel wildly qualified, mostly because simply being a candidate who will not lie every time my mouth is moving seems like something that immediately distinguishes me from that guy. Folks ought to just call him Lilac, because that guy can lilac nobody I've ever heard before. So let me tell you what I will not do. America, I give you this promise. I will not golf on your dime. I don't even like golf. To each his own and all, but I think that putting a tiny little ball into a tiny little hole to try and impress people of privilege is kind of stupid, especially if you cheat to get it done. And I won't pardon other felons upon request just because some well-connected former politician, legal, media pundit talking head wants to cozy up to me out on the green to work a deal so that his buddy can slip out of the cuffs and skip time behind bars. While some would be content to be out golfing on the taxpayer's dime, playing foreign policy like a late-night drunk dial, and praising dictators like they were Vegas lounge acts, I was just working. I will not use the presidency to enrich myself, my family, my friends, or my donors. There will be no crypto schemes, no NFTs, no merch empires, and no pay-to-play. There will be no foreign gifts quietly slipped into my pocket. I will not hand out pardons as party favors, not in exchange for loyalty, not in exchange for silence, not in exchange for proximity to power. I will not weaponize the Department of Justice. I will not retaliate against critics. I will not hollow out the courts. I will not attack the free press, and I will not treat political opposition as enemies to be crushed, but as fellow citizens with whom I disagree. I will not traffic in cruelty. That means no child separation. I will end the child separation policy, period, full stop. No people dying in detention, no masked agents terrorizing communities, no for-profit prisons siphoning public money while destroying human lives. I will not starve children here or abroad and let food rot in warehouses while pretending it's policy. I will not betray working Americans. I will not slap tariffs on goods Americans rely on and pretend China pays the bill. I will not bust unions. I will not destroy family farms with self inflicted trade wars and then hand out partial bailouts like apology notes. I will not cut taxes for billionaires, explode the deficit, and then point at the debt as an excuse to gut services for everyone else. Billionaires paying taxes isn't socialism, it's adulthood. I will not endanger national security. I will not store classified documents next to pool toys. I will not praise dictators while alienating allies. I will not undermine NATO. I will not engage in reckless nuclear rhetoric. I will not govern by conspiracy, grievance, or vibes. That means no destruction of the CDC, no anti science leadership in public health. I will not let a conspiracy theorist slash anti vaxxer with no PhD in either science or medicine who is instead an environmental lawyer with a history of drug abuse, arrests, plural, for possession, and felony conviction for heroin be in charge of the department of the U.S. federal government created to protect the health of the citizens of the United States and provide essential human services. No gutting environmental protections for polluters. No letting artificial intelligence run wild while a handful of billionaires race to own America's military industrial complex. I will not cheat, con, trick, perpetrate fraud, bilk people out of their life savings, steal from charities, even if none of that stuff has anything to do with my role in the office of the president. And I will not lie to you every time I open my mouth as if it were some constant, reflexive, governing philosophy. Now, let me tell you what I will do. First order of business, everything done by executive order during the national magnet skeptics era, gone. Not reviewed, not reconsidered, gone by noon, first day of the new gig. Now, and this actually matters, I'm going to ask you for something no president ever asks for honestly: a real governing mandate. Give Democrats a true supermajority, and we will deliver at lightning speed. Not studies, not task forces, not some endless process delivery. We start with universal single payer health care because when we get that done, it proves something essential. The government can still work for the American people. Next up, minimum wage, tied to inflation like it should have been many decades ago. Here we go again. The Supreme Court expanded to 13 justices. Term limits. No more lifetime seats for ideologues who lied about precedent and legislate from the bench. I will undo all of that deportation judges crap going on between the DOJ and the DHS, causing such upheaval in the judiciary. I will undo all of the DOD stuff Pete Hegseth did because of his need to overcompensate for personal shortcomings. I will commit to the immediate restoration of the integrity of the DOJ, FBI, and inspectors general to have federal law enforcement agencies restaffed with qualified, credentialed, experienced personnel, not just a bunch of yes men, bootlicks, minions, henchmen, and thugs, to restore institutional stability and credibility. I will see to it that no American citizen will ever have to concern themselves with the idea that watchdog groups have identified individuals in or associated with the administration who they consider to have promoted white supremacist ideology or had ties to extremist groups. Nobody in my administration will have ever been nominated to lead the office of special counsel, appointed in the office of the Director of National Intelligence, or held positions in various immigration agencies such as ICE, USCIS, or the DHS, who would have ever been connected with such abhorrent activity. The very idea is repugnant and beneath the integrity of our government. Consumer protections. We rebuild the CFPB with professionals. We restore caps on overdraft fees and credit card penalties. We go back after corporate abuses that were quietly dropped. Transparency. If it's not national security, it's public, and it'll be live streamed. Welcome to the real presidents of Washington, D.C. You're going to love this. The next White House will be so transparent you'll think it's built out of plexiglass. National security handled by adults. Intelligence agencies rebuilt. Allies reassured. Treaties respected. The executive branch run by people who actually know what they're doing. Doctors, scientists, professionals, people with credentials and experience, not just loyalty pledges. We restore environmental protections. We end child separation. We dismantle the for-profit prison system. We claw back power that's been concentrated into fewer and fewer hands for half a century. And we do it together, not by dividing America into us and them, but by telling the truth about who's actually been rigging the system. If America can survive this many years under a man who thinks that magnets stop working when they get wet, then surely it can survive me. I'm Rhoads Osbourne, and I damn sure approve this message.